I have learned that one must very carefully evaluate all the evidence and not make personal judgments based on what you think, you believe, whatever. Sometimes what you think you know gets completely discarded when you read all of the evidence for different products or drugs for the advisory panels. And I've also learned great patience and to accept when other people disagree. A patient representative is someone who has experience with a particular condition or a product or a drug, either as the patient or the caregiver, and attends the advisory committee meetings that discuss these things for approval or, rejection. And we give the patient's point of view as opposed to the scientist's point of view. We evaluate all the same documentation, we discuss all of the same things, but from the patient point of view rather than the medical profession or pharmaceutical profession. There are a number of things that are required, and that entails reading volumes of material. Sometimes there are as many as 1,000 pages to read before a meeting, and we are expected to read and digest all of that. We vote. Sometimes our vote is actually counted. Sometimes it's just, to get an idea of how the patient rep feels. It is the patient representative's job to ask questions of the sponsors of whatever the product or the drug is. If they feel that there is a need for clarity or if there's some kind of discrepancy, it's our obligation to challenge those things. And sometimes that makes us very unpopular. It's really important for people to take on the role of patient representative because the voice of the patient will be lost otherwise. Without patient representatives at the advisory committee meetings, there are a number of questions that will never be raised because without the patient's point of view, somebody who has actually lived with a condition, taken a particular drug, experienced bad side effects, the other persons on the committee will never have a clue. They won't know. And because they don't live it, it doesn't occur to them to ask those questions. As an example of that, when I attended one particular meeting, I happened to read the entire patient information brochure, which made a claim that was not supported by any of the research, as that particular group of people had been excluded from the study. And I really was the only person who caught that and brought it up. From my own experience as a patient rep, I can say that I have had a wonderful time doing what I do. I love the interaction with the public and with all of the people on the advisory panels. I enjoy the feeling of having given back something. I know that sometimes what I have to say is not necessarily well accepted, but it's important to say. And I would recommend that anyone who has had a particular experience with an illness or a device or medication who feels confident talking about it should try to become a patient rep. Because as a patient or caregiver, your opinion is vital.